Hey there guys, it's the Be a Hero Gaming channel. Thanks so much for watching, where we talk about gaming and how to be a hero in real life. And speaking of gaming, one of my favorite things to do with gaming is just crafting and messing around with the gaming stuff. I love that. And a couple people have mentioned or have asked me how exactly I printed the decks out. So I thought I'd just do a real quick video here just to show you step by step exactly what I did to print these things out and put these decks together. For me, gameplay is number one. And for this game really to thrive, it's got to be a fun, engaging game. And so we have printed off actually we got 3 decks here, and we got the other 6 right in here. So we printed off all 9 of the decks available, and we've been playing and having a good time. In fact, one deck that I like, but I keep losing at, I don't know what your guys' experience is the Mermaid deck. I think it has a lot of cool looking cards in there, but I can't seem to win against the dragons. The dragons keep taking me down. Anyway, now, in speaking of this game, before I get into this really quick, I want to talk about value. And I mentioned earlier that the value of this game is going to depend on if it's fun and engaging. But let's talk about something else that's far more valuable than this. The most valuable thing on this earth are the people. And if you think for 1 second that you don't have value, think again. Because each one of us is basically a limitless well of creativity, power, and good that can be spread across this world and make positive changes and change people's lives. So just remember, that's inside each one of us. You just got to dig in there and get it out and get out there and be a hero. So I hope nobody out there feels like they don't have value, because each one of us, I think, have value beyond our imagination. So with that said, let's talk about this, and hopefully this is something I think we're all hoping that if people are backing this, that this has some kind of value to them as a game and as some collector items. How did I make these? First of all, on the Kickstarter page is the easiest way to print off 3 of the decks. So if you go to the Kickstarter page and go down to gameplay elements, skip past a couple of videos and the card anatomy, it's right below that. It says print and play decks and also the rules for the game. I printed this out on cardstock. It's not necessary. You could just print it out on paper. I got this package of cardstock from Walmart for like $6 or something. It's 110-pound weight, so it's a little bit thicker than usual cardstock. But again, you could even use paper. You don't have to use cardstock. I just did that because I like cards. So just pick this up. I just printed it out on my crummy inkjet printer, which you can see here. If I hold this up close, it's pretty grainy and it's pretty dark. So some of the wording's hard to read down here, like these tiny letters down here are really hard to read, but the base ability is pretty straightforward and easy to read. But the cards turn out really dark, and you can see there it's kind of grainy. But it's good enough to cut out and get a couple games going, just to see what the game is like and get yourself a little bit more excited for the game. So what's absolutely necessary for this are these 2 things, is really all you need. You need a pair of scissors and these things, you can cut them out and you can play. Okay, I happen to have one of these guillotine cutters already, and this corner rounder, which again, this is totally extra. You don't need this thing, but I already had this stuff because again, I like to tinker around with this stuff and toy around. I love cutting stuff up and crafting, and especially when it comes to gaming, I just love it. So again, I'm just gonna stick this thing in here, and don't think that this has to be exactly perfect, because again, these aren't actual collector cards. They're just cards you're going to be kind of messing around with to play and see how the game's played. So if there's a little bit of white on the edge of here, not a huge deal. Don't get super stressed out. One time I wasn't perfectly square right here, and I accidentally cut a little bit of the card off. Oops. You know, not a real big deal. It is a big deal if you cut your finger, so don't do that. When it says caution sharp blades, that is no joke. One time I ran my hand underneath this to grab a card and cut my finger right on the edge of that blade. So it is really sharp. So be careful. But yeah, you can just grab this thing here, slice these sides off like this. And again, you don't have to be super accurate. Just get the white parts off here. Okay? Now I got the cards, all the white part off of there, and then I'm just gonna cut this thing in half. I'm gonna stick this thing onto here. And then you can just take these 2 halves, stack them up like this, cut 2 cards at once. Stick this thing into here, and chop off 2 cards at once. And again, if you cut a little bit of the card, it's not exactly straight, don't stress. Okay, there we go. Now I got all my cards cut out. Now, I really like the feel of cards in my hand, but this cardstock, they don't slip very well. And so I put them in sleeves, not to protect them, because obviously these are just fake, but to make them easier to go through. So again, you can take the corner rounder here. It's totally not even necessary. This will totally work. You could slip this right into the sleeve there. But I stick this thing in there and I do the smallest corner rounder on it. Cut all these corners off. Now it looks like a card. We use these for tracking turns. We slide it back and forth to track turns. But let me I'll cut a few more of these here, just show you how once they're in the sleeves there. And see, there's a little bit of white on that corner there. Who cares? Not a big deal. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Just cut a few of these things out here. And the first, that's such a great card to get out at the beginning of the game. Oh man, love doing that. Okay, now because these aren't really, it's cardstock, but they're not like really sturdy like the actual cards are going to be. So they're a little tricky to get in these sleeves here. You have to kind of put them in and then kind of tap them down inside of there to get them down inside. And again, this is only, the only reason I do this is so that the cards will slide when I'm playing the game. But it's absolutely not necessary, because again, if the cards get beat up, you just print some more out and try it again. And it's to cover up the white back and make them look a little bit better. So now that they're like this, they slide on each other. You can go through the cards. And you can shuffle them a heck of a lot easier. They're way easier to shuffle this way. And simple as that. The thing that takes the longest is you getting the cards all cut out takes a little bit. Putting them in these sleeves takes a little bit. Again, don't have to round off the corners. And then you can even just print 2 decks and try them out and see how you like it. I think it's, again, I've mentioned this in other videos, very, very cool that they do this for multiple reasons. It gets you excited for the game, teaches you the rules. You get to know the cards and the characters so that when you get the packs, you can open them up and, oh yeah, I got this guy that I've already used and I was excited to put him in a deck or her in a deck, or this item or land. You're already familiar with the cards, and it's just an awesome way to have fun for free with this game, just to try it out, see if it's something you want to take a look at. So pretty simple as that. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Just remember, guys, your value is great. And inside of you is the power to do so much good. We just got to figure out what it is in our lives that needs to change to make us better, to progress, and strengthen those relationships with our friends and family. You guys take care. Thanks so much for watching.